in Edinburgh Castle. My name is Elvis Presley, this is John Lenon, and I'm going to tell you our part in an episode in Edinburgh's history that had far wide-reaching repercussions than what had previously been given credit for. The episode of which we speak of was a bloody domestic civil war between the Hamilton clan to my left and that of my family, the Douglas clan, the most powerful family in the whole of Scottish politics and Scottish history. Indeed, the Hamiltons to my left here were a family who were powerful, not as powerful as us. They had illusions of grandeur, they had of course aspirations to greatness, but of course they all came to nothing. The Hamiltons here are widely known for being basically nothing more than a bunch of manky, thieving, lying scumbags. The Hamilton family, of course, who wished to be the kings, even though they pretended to be friends to the king, they wanted to be kings in their own right. Too much of a French influence for my liking. My family, the Douglases, we are the most powerful family in Scotland in the 16th century. We are even more powerful than the 12-year-old King, James V, King of this nation. Now, on the 30th of April, what unfolded became known as Cleansing Causeway. This was a bloody civil war between these two families, which of course did not only affect Edinburgh, it affected the rest of Scottish history, even to the point where the king comes into possession of the Douglas family. Now, the citizens of Edinburgh had been squeezed dry by the Hamiltons with their taxes. Anyone coming from Leith into Edinburgh or from Edinburgh to Leith at the bottom of the Royal Mile were being squeezed by double the taxes that was normal for this time. This was because the Hamiltons were trying to raise as much money as possible to buy favour with the king, etc. And the citizens of Edinburgh and Leith came to Archibald Douglas, the Earl of Angus. Now, Archibald promised to do something about it. When the Hamiltons had heard that we were going to do something, the Hamiltons decided they were going to attack the Douglas clan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my family motto is that of Jamais Arrière, which means never behind. We Douglases are first in. So under the hours of darkness on the 30th of April, we got our retaliation in first, so to speak. Now, the Hamiltons, of course, you can tell a Hamilton on the battlefield, not because they look silly, of course, but simply by the 5-leaf flower on the actual crest there on his arm. My family, of course, have the red love heart. Now, this is not because we are romantic. So, ladies, get any ideas of romance out of your head. I am far from romantic. This heart that is on my tunic is, in fact, the heart of the Scottish kings and queens. We were given the honour of carrying the red heart of the Scots kings and queens in the year 1330, the year before Robert the Bruce, Scotland's greatest ever warrior king, died, and we, the Douglases, were chosen to take his heart to Jerusalem to be buried at the Holy Sepulchre. Unfortunately for James Douglas, who became known as the Black Douglas because of his great countenance fighting the Northern English, he took the heart and midway there in Spain, helping King Alfonso of Spain. He died fighting the Islamic forces who were invading that part at the time. James Douglas was found the next day after the battle at Tabor and Andalusia, still clutching the heart of Robert the Bruce to his neck. Unfortunately, the heart never made it to Jerusalem, and neither did the Black Douglas, both brought back to Scotland by Sir William Keith. Since that day, we have been given the honour of the red love heart of the Scots kings and queens. We have the heart of a nation, not some poultry flower. Now, as we made our way up and down the causeway that night, we did take many of the Hamiltons by surprise. Many, to be truthful, were still in their beds. Many were actually chained by shock. What happened? The weapon of choice, that was staff, was first in and last out.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are howlers. And believe it or not, they actually started life as an agricultural tool. The blade on this side was used for chopping the tops of hedges, like so.
Chop, chop, chop.
And the hook in the back was used for raking up the debris.
Rake.
Don't encourage them, not funny.
I'm not trying to be funny, I'm trying to give these people a sense of history.
You need to see a rake if you rake.
Yes, I do.
When peasants hung up the weapon shows with these, that's just a weapon show, they realised by adding this spike here, called the middle finger, so Americans think that that's, are you American, Vince?
Yeah. See why you find that funny.
By adding this spike, it became an incredible weapon of war. With it, you can reach down, put a man plunge this through their eyeball. You would then push it up into the brain and twist it. And this would be slightly disorientating. If you couldn't get through the eye, you would simply smash it through the teeth, severing the tongue, cutting the roof of the mouth through the teeth, going to open the mouth. Possibly sticking out the back of your head. If you couldn't get them out, you would simply stab them through the throat, severing the windpipe and causing you to drown in your own blood. But if none of these targets were available, you would simply lunge with a soft, undefended stomach. Pay attention, son, this can save your life. When it had entered the stomach, it would be twisted repeatedly. This would wrap all the blood, the guts, the puddings, the haggis and whiskey you had for breakfast. And at the end of the halberd, they would then be ripped from your body. Your insides would fall outside. You would die slowly and horribly.
So welcome to Edinburgh. Now, the Figthing and the halberdiers, of course, they are first in and last out. They are more of the common soldiery. Unfortunately, it is a terrible weapon. It's very, very productive in the field of battle. With the reach, the stab, of course, it is an all-weapon system. It can even be reduced indoors to that of a quarter stab. You don't only use the head of the halberd, you can of course use the butt of the halberd and Edingburgh. He's armoured up. This is a real thing. Now, you don't only use the top, you use the bottom as well. It is a very formidable weapon. To be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not my type of weapon. I am, in fact, a professional soldier. I am what is known in Scotland as a garroteur. I'm going to show you some swords that were used at the time of the event here in 1520. The swords we used have all been reproduced from originals, and they all would have been used in the field of combat. None of them are ceremonial. Now, a garroteur, incidentally, in Scotland, we don't use the word bodyguard in Scotland. It's a garroteur. A garroteur is a close bodyguard of the king, the queen, or an earl, or even indeed the standard of the nation. Garroteurs, fully professional soldiers. They're not just levied peasants who have been pulled off from their farms. These are fully trained professional soldiers. The swords that Hamilton is holding are known as Fighters. The Fighters, just the German word for two-handed swords. Many of the swords that they did use were imported from Germany at the time. These, of course, are the famous swords of the German mercenaries known as the Landsknechts, of course, coming from Germany through France, up England, into Scotland. These swords here are not ceremonial, they were battlefield weapons.
Now, I'll quickly teach you the anatomy of a sword. This here is the blade, obviously. This is the hilt. This is the pommel, that's the heavy counterweight that makes it easy to swing around. These here are the quillions, these guard your hand. This here is called the castle, and that's a blunt section of blade used to give more purchase when stabbing. And these here are lugs, and these are to make the sword look evil. They are fully functional. They're for catching and sweeping aside blades, and they would also be sharp along the edges. So if, for example, I was to try and stab this man, you would simply knock, bring his blade up, and push the lug into my windpipe.
Now, Hamilton here, I would fire this into the throat here. You can see it's caught on this garment here. This is what's called an acketon, sometimes known as a gamison. It's a padded coat. You don't just push armour on the top of a shirt or on top of your body. You do actually wear padded clothes underneath the armour to take the actual shot. Now this here is 2 layers of linen. It's stuffed with wool, felt, rag, straw, anything soft. It's where we actually get the expression to knock the stuffing out of someone. You actually knock the stuffing out of his padded armour to get through into the throat. Even if I miss the throat with the lugs, as I push along here, you can see catch him with the quillant. With the quillant in this position, it's like to drive up the so every single soldier would be trained how to use it. This here is his shoulder here, it's against his shoulder. There's not many places. Now,